Good morning. This is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. It is morning here on the West Coast. We start out with a word of the day where we start out every day. Word of the day is scintilla. Scintilla is our word of the day. It's a noun. Tiny trace or spark of a specified quality or feeling. So that is our word of the day. We'll come back for our quote of the day to close up our show a little later. We're going to move on now. As before we start, I want to show this. This is as people get close to retirement, uh, this is a great place to be. As you can see, when the market goes down, it stays level. When the market goes up, it goes up. When the market goes down again, it stays level, so you do not lose any of your money. And then when the market goes up, it goes up again and just keeps going up the stairs. And this beats index investing by 12.5. This gets 12.58%. Index investing gets 7.57. So that's about a 5% difference. So I just wanted to share that. If anybody wants to learn any more about that, please contact me. And I am going to move on. We're going to go take a look at our first, we're going to take a look at, if I can find it here. I'm going to pause for a second till I locate our crypto. Oh, here's our crypto index right in front of me. So this is Bitcoin. Bitcoin did sell off quite a bit, came down near 107,500, came way up here to 108, 10, actually crossed 109, and now it's having some selling into it as it pulls close to 108. We'll just continue to watch that. And let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is trending higher, kind of like we mentioned, some analysts expected to move higher in the coming days, and that is coming true. So let us now move over to our heat map, or some may call it a chill map today. Not sure if it actually went over there. Let me pause for a moment. So I hope you can see this, but the heat map breaks down technology, software infrastructure, consumer electronics, consumer cyclical. Actually, Tesla is bouncing up 2.86 today. A lot of the market is down. Consumer defensive, mostly down. Industrials, real estate, utilities, basic materials, energy is bouncing. Diagnostics, medical devices, healthcare. Financials are continue to take their profits, and software is a mixed bag. Information technology. Some of the semiconductors are bouncing back today, being led the way by Micron semiconductors and Intel. Intel is up 5.64%. So that is a story there. Now we're going to go over to our charts. First, we're going to look at the VIX. The VIX did bounce quite a bit yesterday. Got up to 17.79. It was down as low as 16. So that was pretty big bounce. We're just going to refresh the screen here, see what VIX is doing today. VIX is filling the gap from yesterday right now. It is at 16.71. So we'll just continue to watch that. Now we're going to go over to our charts. We'll start out with the one that has been the strongest, ITA, in aerospace, in defense. Sold off initially. It is bouncing back, trying to get back to where it was yesterday. Financials will be down, pull back to the 10-day moving average. So that's not too bad. KBWB. For some reason, it doesn't want to let me put the B in there. So we were talking yesterday about the 21-day moving average, which is a green line, where people will use that to, if it holds the 21-day, they'll keep that holding. And if it goes below, they'll sell it. And this goes all the way back to the Japanese race traders who utilized the form of moving average to analyze market trends as early as the 18th century. And then J.M. Hurst created the modern concept of a moving average is attributed to technical analysts in the early 20th century. His work on cyclical movements in financial markets led to the development of methods for smoothing price data, which forms the foundation of modern moving averages. So there's a little history for you. And here's KBWB. It's pulling back a little bit, but not as much as the XLF index. Energy will be bouncing. I'm bouncing quite a bit here. Up 2.36%. That's a big move. Communications, they're trending down below the 10-day moving average, down 0.36%. Look at Google and Meta. The two largest here. Meta is up, getting right above its 10-day moving average today. It's pretty flat for the day, actually. XLU pulls back severely to the 50-day moving average, down 1.59%. Real estate holding steady right there, right at the moving averages. Got a nice move in biotech. A local Alameda company, Excellisis, was moving up the other day. It's pulled back a little bit to 10-day moving average, and we'll just continue to watch that. Here's software, holding steady. Infrastructure, getting a little bit of a bounce here. Technology, up slightly, up 0.46%. Semiconductors, up a little bit. Jets, they're up from yesterday, up 0.84%. Leisure activities, and they are up slightly, actually up quite a bit, up 1.34%. Take a look at Carnival. It's actually retreating. Royal Caribbean is up. Viking is up. Both of those are too far extended to invest in at the moment. Healthcare got a nice bounce there, up a little over 1%. Consumer discretionary up 0.69%. Building materials up 0.8%. Metals and mining is pulling back, getting close to the 10-day moving average. Home builders are bouncing up 1.29%. And finally, in uranium, it's pulling back to the 20-day moving average here. So that is our story at the moment. We're going to take a look at where the big money is flowing. Four more items than yesterday. Bank of Ozarks. Well, they got a nice takeoff there, up 3.73%. Looks a little extended outside of the pivot zone area there. That's a 5% buying area, where you go 10 cents above the previous high, which would be 47.62, up to about $50. Bitmine immersion techs sold off yesterday, and it's back up today, up 14%. Concentrics, a big blast through its pivot zone, up a little over 6%. I'm going to move this down so we can see the volume. This kind of lowish volume today, but price always oversees volume. CRISPR Therapeutics looks like it's moving towards having a breakout. We got a double bottom base here. On a double bottom base, you take the middle of the W formation and you add 10 cents, so it'd be 55.98 would be the breakout. Full Truck Alliance. I got a nice cup with a handle here. Tried to break out. So the cup with the handle turns into a flat base right here. And we'll just see if it can get into the pivot zone. FUTU Holdings, financial holding company in China, gaps up today, up 5.79%. Can't really see has a little bit more than average volume. Goodyear Tire. I'll look at Goodyear Tire takeoff. Kanzun, Chinese-based provider of mobile app. Boss Zippin to connect job seekers and enterprises efficiently. Moves into the pivot zone here. Lear Corporation cleared this little upward sloping handle. That would have been the breakout area. National Vision. That's pretty well extended. As you can see, it's just been riding along the 10-day moving average. Had all of these institutional buyers right here, and it just continues on up. QuantumScape. Can't remember if I saw this in Forbes or not, but they thought in some ways that this was vastly undervalued, and it could go up another 40%. And I think that was right about here. Silicon Lab. Looks like it's breaking out of the pivot zone here. That's some pretty good volume. Did have a lot of volume and a sell-off yesterday. Sliced through the 20-day, but now it's right up through the 20-day again. 10-cent music is up. It has cleared the profit zone. Maybe this is another kind of consolidation here. Could possibly buy right over here. It is a Chinese company, so it is a lot more risk that you would be taking. So that is the story there. We're going to set up one other thing and we'll be right back with you. So Amazon is in the news. Prime Day event starts Tuesday. The sale is expected to bring a record $12.9 billion in the US, up 53% from last year, according to eMarketer. On to Top Build has entered into an agreement to acquire Progressive Roofing. And portfolio company of Bow River Capital for $810 million in cash. And Top Build is moving on up on that news today. Up of 4.36%. Uber closed at a record high yesterday at 96.68. It is in the pivot zone right now. If you were interested, this is a viable area. I'm not giving out any advice. I'm just saying on a technical standpoint, that's my opinion. On to ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil said changes in liquid prices to impact Q2 upstream results by negative 1.2 to negative 0.8 billion versus quarter one. Chart changes in gas prices to impact quarter two upstream results. So that is the story there. And we did not get to change our ticker symbol. And here is ExxonMobil, up 2.53%. It rockets right through the 200-day moving average. And on to Vistra Energy. Announced that it has received approval from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to extend the operations of its 1,268 megawatt Perry nuclear power plant through 2046, an additional 20 years beyond its original license. Vistra is down slightly to the 10-day moving average. On to Sunrun, Enphase, and First Solar. They fell right through the 200-day moving average here, down 13% on Sunrun. Enphase down 4.26%, and First Solar down a little over 5%. The White House said it would enforce the termination of clean electricity tax credits faster than expected. So on to financials. Bancorp increases its share repurchase program to 500 million, and that got a rise out of the stock, up 5.86%. Good volume yesterday, and it continues on today. Comerica Bank got downgraded to market perform from outperform at Raymond James, and still it rises today, up 0.59%. KeyCorp upgraded to buy from neutral at UBS and raised target to 22 from 16, and they are up a little over 1% today. PNC Financial upgraded to outperform from market perform at Raymond James, and they're up 0.82%. Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev said tokenization could solve the issue of liquidity by tapping into a global network of hundreds of millions of crypto market participants. Robinhood is launching their own crypto tokens, including tokens linked to OpenAI and SpaceX, hoping to give retail investors more access to private companies. And their stock is down 2%. TFC, Truist Financial, moves up nearly 1% on being upgraded to outperform from market performance. Raymond James, I guess there's one more letter in this ticker symbol. UWM Holdings upgraded to overweight from equal weight at Barclays, and they're up 3.76% on this penny stock. Although next year their earnings are supposed to go up 109%. This is a holding company, wholesale residential mortgage lending. On to healthcare. Biogen said it expects that its GAAP and non-GAAP results for Q2 of 2025 will include acquired and process research and development upfront and milestone expense approximately of $46 million on a pre-tax basis. And they are moving up 3.44%. On to Merit Medical Systems. They said that they see Q2 revenue of $380 million to $384 million. Initially, gapped up. Yesterday it sold off pretty heavily and gapped up today, and it is up nearly 5%. Merck announced that new data from its research pipeline for HIV prevention and treatment will be presented at the 13th Annual AIDS Society Conference at HIV Science. So that is the story there. On to technology, media, and telecom. Downgraded Ciena to underweight from equal weight at Morgan Stanley. And they initially sold off to the 50-day moving average, and they bounced to clear the 20-day moving average. Datadog downgraded to sell from neutral at Guggenheim, and they gapped down on that news. They're trying to fight back a little bit. They are down 4% for the day. KLAC KLA Corp was downgraded to equal weight from overweight at Wells Fargo as shares significantly outperformed the group and trade well above its median price to earnings at about 26 times. So they are still moving up even with that downgrade, up 1.15% today. Samsung Electronics said it expects quarterly operating profit to fall by more than half from a year earlier, hurt by U.S. trade curbs on China and delayed sales of AI chips to NVIDIA. Not sure if I entered that wrong or if it's a foreign ticker, so it's not going to show up here. NVIDIA rising to the top of its pivot zone here. It was part of that little article, so that is the story. Just going to take a quick look at my holdings, what they're doing. NVIDIA is one of them. Palantir is holding steady at the 10-day moving average. MicroStrategy is up slightly to pretty flat. And Toast had that big move yesterday up and a big move down today. It is a volatile issue. Falls to its 10-day moving average, down 3%. So we'll just have to continue watching that. It's pretty good volume on that sell-off. Rigetti Computing tried to move higher and then sold off, down 1.38%. And GS pulls back to its 20-day moving average. GE Vernova initially sold off to its 10-day and then bounced strongly. And I think that's where we'll end it right here. Hope everybody has a great day. Oh, I almost forgot about our quote of the day. Quote of the day. Let me share the screen. Quote of the day comes from Atlas Shrugged by author Ayn Rand. A trader is a man who earns what he gets and does not give or take the undeserved. A trader does not ask to be paid for his failures, nor does he ask to be loved for his flaws. So that is our quote of the day. Hope everybody has a great day. Go out there and make a difference. And we shall see you tomorrow. We're going to go out there and do the same. Thanks for joining.